in the wonderful world of Pokemon in Hoenn, resuming our vacation, trying to avoid adventures, but they just keep calling for us. And now we're in basically the bug area of the world where, let's just be honest, bugs suck. But we're going to make the best of this by probably ignoring all the bugs whatsoever because they're terrible. On the bright side, this means we get more experience for our little Ralts, which is awesome because, like the Magikarp before her, she kind of sucks at the start. But she gets confusion quick enough and then can actually fight. And then she basically becomes the next Alakazam, but without a stupid evolution method and is, awesome and is one of my favorite monsters. So I'm not all that offended that I had to work a little bit to get her. I am bothered by that critical hit though, especially for a level 5 to have gotten it. I think that's its special ability Guts. Gives it like an increased chance at crits, I do believe. Now we're gonna go fight the bug guy because of course. And then we'll probably run back and heal just because that crit kind of mangled me a little more than I'd like to admit. Although we get to fight some Wurmples. And Wurmples are great because they're useless. Basically, they're Caterpie and Weedle combined. Except you can't tell what it's going to evolve into, which makes it an interesting situation all the same. On the bright side, they're easy to take out. Especially when you have 6 levels on them. So we're going to do that thing by taking them all out and getting some free experience for our Ralts. So that we can slowly build it up into the awesome creature of pure psychic rage that we know it can be. Alright. There's another Wurmple. This is going to be a while, I feel. But that's fine. Important thing is that we get the levels we need to ultimately get our team together. Still not sure entirely what I want to do with this team. I've got a couple go-tos I'd like to have. I've got a couple ideas I might be willing to try for a little bit unless something better comes our way. But as for a proper team, I'm not entirely sure. Again with the critical hits. Kind of impressed, Wurmple. You hit a little harder than I ever wanted to give you credit for. And that's what we needed right there. So theoretically we could just swap straight to our Ralts to Ralts things up for a while and catch up to the rest of our team. Is the ideal anyway. But that said, by the end of this, we still probably should go back to, since I can do this mid-battle, we are just going to swap those abilities so I don't have to button mash my way through just using Growl, because that would be terrible. But I think we'll still probably end up going back to the PC just to heal up. Just because that crit was a little bit out of what I expected to happen, and then the second one happened, which didn't exactly do us any favors. Not really sure how long we're going to do this or where we're going to go. I'm thinking probably past the first gym. Once we kind of do that sort of area, we have to come back this way, and I think that would probably be a natural stopping point after that, but it just sort of depends on what happens. As some stuff can end up sort of taking a little bit longer depending on if we want to do 1 or 2 extra little things. If we want to try out some stuff. Because I know there's a couple of monsters around the first gym that are pretty interesting. And one of them I've certainly never bothered using, which kind of interests me a little bit, just by virtue of that I have no experience with it. It's probably actually good. I've just never given it the chance. But seeing as I don't really know what we're doing with our team, maybe now's the time. Unless I find something better down the road. Who knows? I'm really hoping these stupid worms don't get another crit on us. I'd rather not lose all the potential, albeit minuscule amounts of experience Lilith could be learning right now, because we are like 3-4 levels behind everyone else. It would be nice to catch up. Especially against things that are severely weaker to us, and we are basically guaranteed to win over. Alright. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. Now, we need to go back to the center where we'll get our monsters cloned. And then they'll be all healthier and stuff. And it'll be great. I feel like this Zigzagoon will murder us. Let's find out if that happens. Now, that's an interesting attack because Growl will actually have very little effect because we are a psychic attacker. But if they use Tackle, that's probably the end of us. It's worth a shot. That's okay. I could use Runaway right now. I could, that would guarantee me the run, but this might also guarantee me the level. Depends how much experience I get from Zigzagoon. And that's the level, alright. So now at least our other two monsters are the same level, so we're at least kind of sort of keeping them up together. Because as you know, I don't exactly like to have a huge level disparity between our team members. It's, once you kind of build around that deficit, it kind of becomes a real pain to try and build back to a certain level of similarity between your monsters. So it's just easier to keep them together from the start if you can. At least, ideally. Granted, you can get into situations where monsters you catch are significantly weaker than you, in which case you're kind of starting out from that, and you just kind of have to grind your way up. But there are ways to mitigate that with like experience shares and stuff, provided you actually know where to get them. Wow. Critical hit out of the gate. I do not care much for that. Seeing that we're so close to the Pokemon Center, I'm half tempted to just run back and use it again. I guess we'll do that. Not ideal, not interesting, but you can't always plan for critical hits from Tackle that almost murder you. And it's that adaptability that has, once again, proven that we are the very best like no one ever was. Well, that and our ability to push people off cliffs for stealing our lives and fame. That too is a useful skill. But it's our adaptability that will allow us to progress away from adventure and just have a nice normal vacation with no Pokemon whatsoever. Ideally. We're never getting away from adventure. I think we're stuck in a life of adventure. That's just our lot. Ever since we got our Charmander way back when, we've been locked in forever with a life of adventure. But that doesn't mean we have to accept it and not try and fight against it. We're having a vacation, damn it. Okay, so this is one of the evolutions of Wurmple. The other looks basically identically, except it's slightly more purple. Marginally, it is actually kind of hard visually to tell the difference. I think the eye of the other one is also red and not orange. But which one a Wurmple evolves into, I'm not sure. It, again, kind of seems random. I've tried to understand how Wurmple evolves and I still can't figure it out. It's not like any trick to get it to go one way or the other or figure it out ahead of time. At least as far as I've been able to tell. Got a Paralyze heal. For when we get paralyzed, that will be useful. Possibly. Unless we never get paralyzed, in which case it is a useless waste of inventory space. But the nice thing is, we have so much inventory space that there's basically no limit now, which is nice. Because inventory space limitations suck. Okay, so these are the chumps we're going to be running into a lot. Instead of Team Rocket, because they got disbanded and they are back in Johto, we get to fight Team Magma. And also Team Aqua. Sort of. Depends on which version you play. And they have Poochyena, which is a problem, because that's a dark type and we can't do anything to it. So, I guess we'll throw Drumsticks out. This is gonna be a problem. Oh no, accuracy loss. You're using Brock strategies on me. I don't like Brock strats when they work against me. When they work for me, they're great. But when they work against me, it's bad times. Good work, drumsticks. We're going to be seeing more of these guys later, but Poochyena and its evolution, as well as a few others, are sort of their signatures. We're probably going to have to encounter them, seeing as we're going to Rustboro. Got a great ball. Isn't it great? I don't think you get to buy great balls for another town or two either, so it's kind of a... It's sort of like finding it in the trash of the SSN originally. Except there's no Abra to use against it that almost guarantees that you get it. I think there's hidden things in those little empty grass patches, so I want to take a look at those. That's another bug catcher. Worst thing you could do is throw that at me, really. This is one of the interesting monsters we can run into next to the next town. And I've played around with these guys. These are some of the bug monsters that I actually think are interesting. And it's interesting because it has sort of like a different way to... Ow. Why do I keep getting critted? That's not fair. It has an interesting evolution method is my point, because it has multiple evolutions, but if you do the right thing, you can get all of them. It's, they're interesting monsters, to say the least, but they are very much bug monsters. They're weak to basically everything, which makes them less than ideal to use. Wow, that was actually super effective. That is super surprising. But you know what won't be super effective against? Drumsticks. It's a bird and it's made of fire. I'm not afraid of you, little bug. I will either eat you or burn you to death and then eat you. There we go. That could have been handled a little better. Alright, well, that happened. Now, I'm not sure. I think there's a place where you can heal up in the next sort of area, I think, or else we're going back to the Pokemon Center. Not that it's a huge trek or anything, but just for the sake of keeping our monsters together. And because I know there's a specific fight we don't want to encounter running low on monsters. This guy gives us TM. Unfortunately, this is still of the era where TMs are one use. Unfortunately. But that's, what is it? Bullet Seed, which is actually kind of an interesting attack, because it's one of those sort of like it hits between 3 and 5 times, and it can do a lot of damage. But it's a grass-type move, so you're kind of limited with what you can do. I would not like to learn about berries, but I'll take any free berries you have. And if you have some way of healing my monsters, that would be super. I know someone here gives you free berries. A whale merpale. That's important if you want to keep growing berries. Of course, our copy has a glitch on it that won't allow us to actually keep growing berries after a certain period of time, and I don't plan on playing this game for a year straight, so... She gives you a free berry every single day, which is nice. And they have the ability to make candy with berries, and that's a hint towards something else in the future that we may or may not be taking part in. I might just for a little bit, just to kind of show you what it's about, but it's not really the most important mechanic in the game. But it's something we could take part in. I'm just going to run from stuff, because, again, I don't want to just overload my team with experience when I've got a member down that needs more. Because crits are dumb. Oh. Ran to a Zigzagoon again. I think this is like the last area in a while where you can run into Zigzagoons. I think they stop after this area for a little bit. And then they come back around like level 20, 25 for reasons. Granted, I'm basing that off of my last time playing this, which was like 15 years ago, but I'm somewhat of the belief that that is very much the case. Okay, let's just run back to the PC real quick, come back. Nice thing is we have Runaway. We could run away from every fight if we need to. Until it evolves, until Garm evolves, we can run away from every fight except for trainer fights, which is kind of nice. If you want to skip experience anyway. And I imagine if you were trying to, like, speedrun this game, that would actually probably be a useful tool. It's just the ability to run from every single fight. That said, I've seen some speedruns of, like, RPGs. You gotta really hope you get good encounters and really plan out where and which ones give you the best experience for least amount of effort to optimize your time. And I always like looking at stuff like that. It's very fascinating to see how stuff like that works out. Alright, so there's a very important fight coming up. It's important for a lot of reasons. I don't think it's a particularly difficult fight, but it's important. I got your shield dust. Not that it matters. See ya. Alright, onward. I do believe we've got to fight this lady. And I believe this lady will fight you multiple times. She's one of the few trainers you can re-challenge a bunch. With her Zigzagoon. And if this thing crits me, I'm going to be depressed because I've already eaten too many crits today. I do have potions I could use for this very situation, which isn't bad though. Not that we're going to need it because he's going to be down in about a sec. Still, something to consider. Well, we're getting closer to level 10. Take that, Cindy. This is true. Alright, we'll battle, lady. Sure, why not? If it makes you feel better, Lass Haley. Okay, this is like the Pokemon Sapphire equivalent of our Seedot. I think it evolves into one of the dumbest monsters this generation. But I think this version's kind of cute. Just like a little... I think it's supposed to be some kind of lizard thing living under a lily pad, which I think is kind of cute. Also, lowering my attack does nothing. You fool. I should have lowered my special attack. But you didn't catch up to that, did you? Alright, next is Shroomish. Never actually bothered to raise a Shroomish. They seem like they... I've heard people say they're actually pretty good, but I think they'd be pretty annoying too. Because they don't seem like that masterful a type of like attacker. They definitely seem like more of a debuff support type. Oh, absorb. I could use my paralyze heal, but I feel like I should hold on to that. You only have 2 abilities, don't you, Shroomish? You should have more attacks than those 2 because absorb, while kind of interesting and useful in certain situations, it doesn't exactly do that much. But I will take that heal. We're actually pretty close. Another critical. Awesome. We're actually pretty close to the next Pokemon Center, too. But that said, I think we're like 3 fights away from it, or so. We're gonna get critted and taken out again. I can just see it. It's gonna happen. Oh hey, you got tackled. That's actually kind of impressive. It's better than just 7-2, I guess. I think you might have run out of PP for absorb, though. Not that it matters because you're down. No, you shouldn't have, because you lost. Got a little cut tree over here we can't do anything about because we don't have cut. I'm gonna have to find monsters for HMs and stuff. I don't want to do that. The nice thing about this game is it has like the best monster for all of HMs, because there's one that can just learn every HM. Okay, now like I said, there's a really important battle here. This is it. Because this is the first double battle in the entire series. This was earth-shatteringly cool. That you could just fight 2-on-2. It was a whole new, like, potential of combinations and ways to fight and strategies to develop. And I think you do it, like, maybe a dozen times across the entire game. Now, because Lotad is a water type, we probably should not use Ember on it. Just as a suggestion. That said, we do have Scratch. And I think we'll do enough damage that it won't matter what we pick. Alright, there we go. That's the first double battle. The first of few, but still very important. Also, just look at that, like, wind sweeping across the water effect. And the reflection. I know I've said it before, but that reflection blew my mind when I was a kid, and that wind sweeping across water. That was just icing on the cake. I'm pretty sure this is the obligatory Magikarp guy, who only has Magikarps. So, basically, free experience to allow Lilith to catch up with our other two guys. Which is good. You know, it's nice to finally get our team kind of, sort of situated together. Finally, I get a crit in after, like, the 6 I had to endure up to this point. No, I'm good continuing to fight Magikarps. Thank you. I still say Splash, more useful ability than Bide, because at least Splash acts as a taunt. Bide at least tries to be an actual attack that does nothing. Like, yeah, I guess you can return all the damage you'll receive, but you idle yourself with like 3 turns. It sucks. I don't know why there is OK ad on my stream. But there is, apparently. Alright. And I believe that trilogy of terrible water monsters was like the vanguard of the next Pokemon Center, so we can just walk there. This lady should give us some berries. Which again, I'm not sure how useful berries are going to be to us, but, you know, maybe we'll take part in some kind of contest at some point where we need berries. Oh yeah? What Ruby challenge are you doing? I will take some cherry berries, pretending I remember how and what these things do. I recall there's a secret around here. You gotta like run around the entire place like Safari Zone, although it's slightly less obnoxious. Got an X defend. That'll be useful. If nothing else to sell. Nothing over on that side. Now if I recall, I'm gonna go here. here's where we want to go. Alright. One of these guys gives us something important. I just gotta remember who. I think it's this guy, maybe. Yeah. I gotta watch a little... this guy. So basically just a standard run through Ruby without trading with anyone. That was one of the weird things about this. This is like the start of where you don't even get to see all your opponent's Pokemon. Like, you won't ever see the third monster over the course of the game, which is normal, but, you know, your rival won't even fight you with, like, the second or third iteration of it. So we will never actually get to see Swampert, which is fine, but... this guy gives us Cut, but I think we have to go do a special quest yet. Or not. We can just get Cut. That's fine. Well, to be fair, when you translate something, typically you take some liberties and stretch it to make it a little bit more palatable for whatever you're translating it to. Oftentimes, if there's like a joke in Japanese or English and you translate to something else, it won't play properly if you translate it straight. So you have to basically write something completely new that just sort of is analogous. References and stuff usually don't translate at all. So you just kind of have to make something up that sort of works by proxy. But translation work in general is a little bit tricky. Now, I believe around here, there is 2 potential monsters that I wouldn't mind catching. I'm not sure if we'll use them all the way through, but, you know, to pad out our team, we could at least take them. Although I know what I definitely want my next couple monsters to be, I think. Just thinking out loud here. But by the time we get to the next gym, we should be able to get another really good monster. At least good in the sense that it's one of my favorites and I'm not going anywhere without it. There's that. An Nincada. The return of this guy. I'm ready this time. With you and your bullshit criticals. I'm just gonna burn you to the ground. Doesn't work so well against a fire type now, does it? Or a flying type, really. And also burn. But if we're lucky, we'll find a Nincada around here and we can add it to our team for a little while. There we go. Getting our team together. We'll give Garm some love. He needs more experience to be the most awesome guard dog. And Silcoon is a wimp. Merrills tend to be hard to run into. I gotta say, I'm not sure if we're gonna do any like bonus stuff with this game, just because I know some like the extra stuff is stupid to get to. Like if you want to get the the Rejai or however you pronounce it, you need like a monster that shows up 1% of the time and a monster that shows up 5% of the time. And I don't want to do either of those things. Alright, there we go. I'm thinking about trying to catch an Nincada, and I think Whismer's around here, which I've never bothered to try and train, so I might grab one. Yeah, there it is. Sweet. Never bothered to train these guys. Their final evolution actually looks pretty tough, but they're also normal types, so... Don't murder Merrills. If you're trying to catch them, it's kind of imperative you don't murder them. Remember, put them to sleep, paralyze, or poison them to prove you're their best friend, and they'll be easier to be friends to you and catch. Because that just makes sense. Alright, we got a Whismer. Again, not sure we're going to use this guy all the way through, but I've never actually used this monster. So it might be interesting to add to our team for a little while. And we will name it something, because it's a voice monster, and because I've got a wicked sore throat over the past week, and still do, I think we're going to call this little guy... Strep. Alright, now we just got to get ourselves a Ninkata, and we've got pretty much every monster for the next little while I care to have. Actually, I don't think there's too many places you actually need cut in this game, which is interesting, now that I think about it. Be careful, don't let the Merrill die this time. It's important. Oh, that reminds me back when I was 2 chapters of this ago when I was doing Pokemon Red. I think I like murdered Moltres or something. I was so bitter about it. Oh look, it's another Whismer. Actually, I should probably throw Strep into our first slot if we're actually leveling stuff. And of course I didn't actually look at its abilities, I should do that too, just for the sake of doing it. Soundproof. Sound-based moves are completely ineffective, so Howl, Growl, stuff like that. I think Sonic Boom, none of that stuff will actually do anything to it. Yeah, I'm playing on an actual cart. I'm doing it on non-standard equipment, so I can actually like save state and stuff if I need to, but I'm actually running off a cart. I don't emulate stuff typically. Nice work, Strep. That's a clutch victory right there. Almost a level right there. Nice. But shinies are neat. There's so few of them that I think are all that worthwhile, though, because most of them just turn yellow or, like, green. Like, Shiny Ponyta, that's one I care about, because that's interesting. Shiny Charizard, sure. Shiny Ditto, okay. But, like, most of them just turn either, like, gold or like, green, and they don't look all that cool. I do kind of like the idea of the newer games where you can chain fights together to increase your rates of getting shinies. That's kind of cool. But, I hear ya. You know, still being able to buy GBAs would be great, because mine's busted, and I need an SP because I've never had one, and my DS is a piece of garbage, but, you know. I've got a console that can just play this stuff in HDMI and make it really nice to record, so I do it that way. Ah! I critted the Ninkata. Oh well. Got a level anyway. But I wanted the Ninkata instead. And I was wrong. Zigzagoon still shows up. If I have to teach anything cut, it's going to be this thing, I guess. I'll just find a level 1 Zigzagoon somewhere and use it. Stupid Zigzagoon. Alright, well, Strep is at least getting closer to level 10. But we still need that Ninkata. Damn it. Don't want to leave without it just because I think it's a neat monster. Even though it's a bug type, and I'm pretty much entirely down against bug types. What is with everyone wanting to give me crits today? Alright, well. Sir Lilith out there. Get some more experience. Pickup is a totally useless move to trace because it only works out of battle. Alright, well, there's some experience anyway. But we still need Ninkata. Because I don't think there's another monster I care to actually catch until the next town. Still not sure entirely what I want our team to be. Like, even if I just pick my favorites from this game, that still leaves at least, like, maybe 2 or 3 gaps in our team. So, it's certainly possible that, you know, Strep will last us to the end, but seeing as he's just a pure normal type, that is not ideal. Certainly. That said, I'm pretty sure just running it through my head right now, even just using some of my favorites, our team is going to be like triple weak to ground types, which is not ideal either. I'll have to find some way to like balance that out, I guess. And of course there's the fossil monsters, which I haven't even considered. We got options. Plenty of time to decide what we're going to do. Alright, Strep. You are going to hit level 10 soon enough, buddy. Everything over here says our connection is excellent, so I'm not sure why it's crashing. Oh, I'm just not sure what I want to do with our team yet. I hear ya. Old PCs are a little bit tricky to work with. There's a Talo. I've never bothered to level a Talo before either. I don't want to start now, honestly. Soundproof. Completely useless to use Growl on me. Thank you. And that'll be level 10, I do believe. Nice work, Strep. At least you'll level quickly enough. Lilith takes a while. She's a rarer monster, though, so I guess I can give her that credit. Come on, Ninkata, though. I want Weird Bug Monster because Weird Bug Monster. Guts. Actually, I think that means you have a higher chance of getting a crit. So I can't get upset if I get crit like that. Well, I can, it's just not going to do much. Come on. Yay! For once that actually worked in my favor. I think the odds of actually causing confusion with confusion is like 1 in 10. It's wildly low. Come on, Ninkata. Talo. Nice thing is now that everything is more or less the same level, I don't have to run back to the Pokemon Center every few minutes, but still really just trying to catch one monster at this point. Alright. Come on. Make something happen. These stupid things. Don't need to trace pickup. Pickup is useless. Actually, that's not true. You can get like nuggets and like ridiculously rare stuff. And it's actually tied to your level. The higher level you are, like the better chance you're gonna get awesome stuff. which is kind of neat. But, you know, I don't think having pickup makes having like a Zigzagoon a worthwhile member of your team. Here we go. Alright. Now let's not murder this Ninkata if we can help it. That would just be super. There we go. Alright, we got a Ninkata, one of the few interesting bug monsters. Yes, I will give it a nickname, as I always do. Now, it is a lady, and its name is derived from ninja and cicada. So I'm thinking we gotta name it after a lady ninja. So I'll name it after Ye, because Gomon is awesome. Yeah, we're basically done around here. That said, we still have some stuff to do, but at the very least, we're done trying to get monsters. And we at least have almost a full team. Whether I actually plan on keeping them or not is up for debate, but at least for now we've got a bit of a temp team. Alright, heal up. See if we can level Ye up a little bit. Oh, I think you'll see me again. I need my monsters vaporized and cloned pretty much every few minutes. Alright, so that's done. We did set our team properly, yes we did. Fight me! Oh, your Pokemon rule. I think my Pokemon rule. Youngster Joey. You know, I was thinking his name was Joey. I don't know why I didn't say it. It's actually interesting. This early on, we've got a monster with 3 attacks. Now, granted, they're mostly not useful attacks, but still. We're not going to do much with Scratch. Especially if he lowers our attack like that. I think this might end up having to resort back to Magikarp strats. I'll just swap something else and get him some experience that way. It'll be slow and awkward, but at least it'll make fights a little faster, which is important. Oh, got confused again. Are we gonna hit that home with confusion? I think we are. Yes, we are. Nice. Youngster Joey with his Machop. Now, we don't have a flying type. Well, we do, kinda, but we don't have any flying attacks for it. But we do have a psychic type, so we'll just cut to the chase. I think these muscleheads are rather easily confused. Let's test that out. You know, I get the idea that psychics would be strong against musclehead fighting monsters, but what doesn't make sense necessarily as much is that psychics aren't weak to their physical attacks. Like, I get on a basic rock, paper, scissors why that needs to be the case, but if you really think about it, psychics who focus on their brains and not so much their frail bodies would be really, really susceptible to breaking bones rather quickly. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Alright, we got a Zigzagoon. I might actually be able to do something against this if it's level 6. Although Growl's going to, once again, impede our progress. Screw it. Just throw my Psychic type out. And wreck shop. And I mean, yeah, we get to spend a little bit of extra time running around trying to catch our dear friend Lilith. And yeah, it took a little while to level her so that she could actually do something, but now that she can actually attack, she's already paying for her large downtime in spades just because she's amazing. Because awesome psychic types. And this is the monster that made me actually appreciate psychic types, because let's just be honest, Alakazam for all of its power sucked. Given that you had to trade for it, it was like the worst thing ever. Mewtwo was legit, but you know, that was an endgame type of deal. Okay, we got a water type. Drumsticks won't be of much use. I think Lil will be perfectly fine to take this monster down. Although if it crits me a bunch more, that might very quickly not be the case. There we go. I'll take a crit, sure. Alright, level 11. And double team. That's a ridiculously useful ability to get this early. I will take double teams, thank you. Now that mountain climber, I do believe uses rocker fighting types, as they tend to. Which will make things a little bit tricky. To use fighting types, we could use Lil, sure, but since we're trying to keep everything together, that might not be the best of plans. Same token, we could try and use Brock strats against it, just make it wildly miss everything and do like 1 damage. We've got options, and because we've got so many monsters this early, we can certainly take advantage of our options. Alright, another crit for me. I think Nincada's sort of like Ralts in that it's a rare monster, so it takes longer to level up. I think Whismer's a little bit easier to level. I think we can take advantage of this fight, though. Or maybe not, I think my defense is too low. That might actually be advantageous to us, because Uproar locks it into an attack. If we can get enough health through Leech Life... Or we get critted. You know, that happens too. Awesome. Okay, well, we'll use ours then. Go get him, Strep. Is that some sort of tail or something? Why does it have like a black bulb on its back? I've genuinely never seen the back shot of one of these guys. Alright, well, I guess we'll start with Strep, because Yay is down. Although I don't really like the idea of having to run back to the PC this late in the route. Might have to if he throws Geodudes out like that, though. Not exactly in the best position, seeing as we started with a fire type, we have a dark type, a normal type. Our psychic type's probably our best advantage right now. And it still won't do all that much against rock types. I'm heavily reminded of the fight against Brock, honestly, just because there's not really too many different monster types you can get by this point. Now the advantage is you can get Wingull by this point, and Wingull could just completely make this guy a joke. Unlike Brock, which is basically you pick a fire type, you're either over-leveling, maxing out Sand Attack, or restarting, because they didn't balance that all that well. And you know, the first gym is Steel types, if I recall, so it's not significantly better, but it's at least low enough you can kind of make it work. a little bit, but I think that's just making an excuse. Oh no! Make more uproar! Make more uproar now! See, you building defense, Geodude, is just making this fight more annoying, and it's already pretty annoying. I don't have a water type. I'm playing Ruby, I don't have a Lotad. Nor do I particularly want one. Or a Seedot, really. I don't think either are particularly interesting monsters. We are going to lose to this guy, I feel. Well, if we lose at the exact right time, we might be able to get a level for an Incada out of it, so that could be advantageous, I suppose. Who is knocked out, that's right. Oh, what am I saying? Oh, that's depressing. I was thinking, if he takes us out just as he's about to die, we could get that leech life in and just wreck him. Get like a level in already, that would be nice. Not gonna happen, unfortunately. As much as we might wish it. Alright, well, Garm needs some experience. Let's throw him out and basically do 1 damage. Because Geodudes... I genuinely don't remember any non-Hoenn monsters in this generation. Granted, it's been like 15 years since I played this game, so I guess that makes sense, but genuinely I kind of thought it was like Gen 4 where you just didn't see anything like that. Please tell me that's a level. Yep. Nice. Oh, good, another one. Well, screw it. Time to use psychic powers, because psychic bendy spoons. I've got no better strategy. That actually did quite a lot. Nice. Bendy spoon power, go! There's another one down. Come on, send out another. I might actually be able to win this fight, provided you don't, like, use Rock Throw and get a crit immediately. Now, what's interesting about Mud Sport is that attack actually has, like, 3 alternate, like, effects other than the one it tells you. It also raises, like, the damage of both water and ground abilities, I believe. Alright, you're done. He wishes to dig this tunnel. Follow your dreams, tunnel-digging man. So that you may live a happy, healthy life. And I'm pretty sure this cave is basically just Whismers, and I think maybe Zubats. Which is not the most interesting. Oh, okay, we can't actually go here yet. We do have to come here, though. That's, I think, after the first gym, though. Which is kind of frustrating, because we worked our way over here. All the same, just means we have to work our way back now. And now we don't have to deal with trainers, so, you know, it'll be a little easier. In fact, we could just run from everything, honestly. I mean, I can't exactly level my unconscious monster right now. Alright, screw it. Run past everything. That's the new plan. Alright, so... Which reminds me... We do have a quick claw we can use, so we're going to do that. So I should at least use it for something. I think it's like a 1 in 10 chance of allowing you to take your turn first if you're slow. Ideally, you'd want to give it to your slower monster. I don't know which one that is at this rate. Let's figure that out. Which one has the slowest movement speed? Let's see. Speed 12, 16, 15, 11. So we want to give this to our Ninkata, which is actually kind of ironic because it becomes one of the fastest monsters, if I recall. But yeah, okay, we'll give it that. Yep, we will rest our monsters because we can. Alright, now Fire Call, we have to actually go to the gym next, so I guess we'll go do that. And even though we're on vacation, not trying to go on adventures or anything, we still end up having to try and punch girls in the face and steal badges, as is customary in Pokemon because reasons. Now, if I recall, this gym is either ground or steel. Neither are the most optimal things to fight this early on, but regardless, you'll get some experience if nothing else. And also, we do have a Psychic type. That's always advantageous when you have nothing elemental to use against ground. Or rock, really. Hopefully we can actually just confuse stuff, though. That would be good. Like that. I've never understood the fascination with making rock one of, like, the first gym types. It certainly didn't make a lot of sense in the first generation. It was terrible because there was literally nothing to counter rock that early on. No, I didn't know there was a monster named Free Experience. You know, there's a few monsters you can farm for basically free experience, though. I guess, yeah, Magikarp. I tend to just call it a pain in the ass to level until it becomes something of remote value, though. But that's because I did it. About this time last year, I had to grind my Magikarp up to Gyarados, and then immediately got rid of it because I didn't want it anymore. Now, kind of like I said, I want to keep our monsters together, but I think just because of the typing, we're basically going to be overly reliant on our Psychic type, just because the situation is not exactly ideal. Because again, Rock is kind of an awful thing to fight at first. That's why Gen 2 at least started on the right foot with bird types. Similarly, you know, there's nothing that's super effective to it out of the starters, but at the same time, you know, nothing got immediately wiped out by birds because they're birds. All respect to one of my favorite monsters, Pidgey, but, you know, there's not a lot that it's going to be wildly super effective against. Which is why you gotta get creative if you want to make a really good Pidgey. Which is why you tend to slap Toxic and Roost on that thing and call it a day. You do that to Skarmory too, and that makes a really mean monster. Skarmory in general is just mean. That's why I had one last gen. I will beat you because I have unlimited chances to beat you. And you're Geodude. You know, the last guy had one too. It wasn't scary then. Chat, yours is a little higher level. I also have way more monsters. And a Psychic type. That could be bad for us, though. That's not ideal. But I do believe we can survive. As long as that doesn't crit us. Interesting use of Mud Sport. You know you took away from taking my routes down, right? You could have done that. And now you just look like an idiot. With your one Geodude. Alright, well, that was an easy enough fight. Time to go spam healing again. Just because typing is weird in this game. Alright, let's heal that up. I need my monsters vaporized and cloned! Not in that order, obviously. Another thing worth noting about Nincada is it's actually kind of a weird bug monster. Bug monsters tend to like hit their 3rd evolution by level 10. Nincada takes like 20. But Nincada also evolves weird. Alright, fighting the rock lady because of course I am. I think her second monster is a steel type though. Okay, time to use the tried and tested method of just spam psychic attacks. Your defense curl does not make me scared, because I'm going to attack your special defense, which is basically non-existent. That could be a problem, though. Ouch. I feel like I should just use double team, but I know that's not going to be all that useful. That's the ability you get from her. Okay, now things get a little bit trickier. We'll find a way to make this work. Time to cause uproar! Oh good, she used a potion. This would be where the advantage of getting Bullet Seed would be useful, but I don't think anything we have actually can learn it. Nincada might actually, I'm not sure. Maybe worth taking a look at. But unfortunately, this is kind of what this fight devolves down to because, of course, rock types. They either end very, very quickly in your opponent's advantage, or it's basically a stall fight where you kind of hope you win. Which, I mean, if this fails, what I will do is, next time I will lead with our alts and just spam double team, really. Actually, what I could do is start with Garm here, spam Sand Attack, then spam double team. And that would lead us into the second fight perfectly fine. Okay, maybe that's what I'll do. Now, Rock Tomb is actually a pretty useful move for a rock move anyway. But I don't think there's too many monsters I actually use ever that could actually learn it. Our most useful ability, a fire attack against a rock. The thing you have to understand is we are about, no matter how far we got down the path, we're pretty much going to get destroyed by a rock type with our little Torchic. The last poor drumsticks. It's gone to the big barbecue in the sky. I mean, I could try and use Harden, but I don't think that would actually be all that effective, especially considering we probably just get destroyed. Still, I mean, if you're gonna spam Defense Curl, I might as well try. Why not? Let's make this the big, dumb, raise defense match of the century, where nothing gets done because stall fighting. This is how to make fights interesting. This is why characters like Brock suck so bad to fight. Although at this point I'm basically just trying to raise defense to, like, take no damage. And if we can do that, I mean, we can basically just get Leech Life to recover any damage we get. That'd be kind of cool, but it'd be frustrating as all hell to get working. Wow, another potion. Interesting. Actually, I mean, if we did do this proper stall fight, Leech Life could be a real lifesaver like that. But we just got Rock Tomb, so it doesn't matter. And we whited out, because of course we did. Fortunately, we were at this Pokemon Center the whole time. Okay, let's try leading with Garm this time. Just attack the shit out of it. And we'll just stall tactics this fight. Because why fight interestingly when you can just play really, really dull? Because rock starters. I've never understood this. Like, why make the opponent, like the first real boss, use a type you don't have much that could actually be effective against? It doesn't make a lot of sense. If that kills me, that's a problem. That almost killed me. That's a problem. That killed me. That's a problem. Alright. Fine. Guess we'll just do it this way, I guess. I think every time you use Double Team, it's like a 50% evasion rate boost. And then it just compounds itself. So it's less useful every time you use it, but it's still pretty useful. Provided, of course, you don't get completely murdered on the way. Although I think Double Team is less effective than it was in the first two generations. Or it boosted your rate even higher. But, you know, this is how frail, weak psychics fight giant, scary rock monsters. By not getting hits. Similarly to how a Charmander would fight an Onix. Okay, that was less than ideal. Fortunately, I have a potion too. Yep, it's a dumb way to fight, but I mean, if they're gonna fight that way, I can fight that way too. That said, if it rock throws, I think we're dead. We're dead. That is exactly how not to fight that guy. And now we're down to basically waiting for this fight to end. Very much not in our favor because she's got at least 2 potions she can use on this guy and we've got nothing to do damage. And setting a fight this early when you have very few offensive options is just dumb. Like, the only things I can think that would be effective against rock types at this stage, outside of your starters, which isn't applicable to me, would be Shroomish and Wingull. And Wingull, it's debatable because it's a flying type. It might get destroyed pretty quickly by a rock type anyway. If it had Water Gun, it might stand a chance, but I'm not exactly sure what it learns or when. But this early on, something like this is just sort of dumb. Now, I'm willing to accept that I'm doing this wholly wrong and incorrectly, that's fine, but to structure your first real challenge like this just kind of seems weirdly balanced. I'm gonna see if Bullet Seed can actually be thrown onto our dearest Ninja Bug. Hey, we got a crit in. That's at least a bonus. don't exactly want to go out and grind to level 15, just out level everything either. That's not how to become the very best like no one ever was. Not that we need to do that again, we already proved that twice. We're on vacation, damn it. We don't need to prove ourselves. I guess that sand attack's finally actually being useful. Not anymore, though. So I think our actual proper way of doing this is probably how we should do it. I think I'm going to buy a couple of potions. So I certainly have the money for it. Alright. I can throw my X defense on something, seeing as I'm not going to use it ever. As well. And do I have... let's just check. Oh, let's see if we can use this. No. No, we can't. Restores HP. That could be useful. Give that to Lil. Alright. Let's try this again. Because we're doing this Brock style. I already learned everything that that crappy little school can teach me, which is here's a quick qualla. Use it. Okay, Garm. And what we need to do is not get murdered by Rock Tomb. That's a good start. Oh, that's not good. Oh, it didn't miss again. Ah, that's too much, I guess. Alright, well, time to do this. Hopefully we can spam double team enough to actually get somewhere. I think my other monsters actually have Growl, so, you know, worst case scenario, I could try and use them to just lower its attack until we max out our evasiveness. But it's weird that it's playing entirely offensively now instead of using, what was it, defense curl that I was using earlier. It's a little strange. That's right, you just keep on missing. That's exactly what we need you to do. You'd think sand attack wouldn't affect it. Seeing as there's a couple of like sand-based attacks that don't affect ground or rock types, or steel I don't think. And they're more harmful attacks than sand attack, really. But I don't mind the return of Brock strats. Just means that we are slowly going to bring about our victory. And that's about as evasive as we can be. And now it's time to crush this thing's feeble mind. If it gets a crit on me, then we're well and truly screwed. I mean, the nice thing is it's gotta try and hit me first, but, you know, with my luck, the thing it will hit me with is a crit. And that is, like, the worst. You're raising your defense, that's cute. You know I attack your special defense, right? You can be a big, scary defensive rock guy all you like, but unless you cover what I actually attack you with, it's not going to do you much good. I think I said this, but the second monster she has isn't like a rock type. I'm pretty sure it's actually a steel type, which is a little bit strange. I think it might be steel rock, perhaps. I'm pretty sure it's a steel type, at least partially. Wow, that was not good. Alright, there. That's one down. No, we're very much keeping our awesome evasion. Thank you. I would very much like that potion. Thank you. Hopefully we don't get murdered turn 1 with nose pass. Okay, yeah, raise your defense. That's exactly what we need you to do. You keep doing that. That's good. Nose pass is such a weird design. Like, I get that that thing sticking out below its nose is like a foot or something, but it just looks like a mouth or something weird. I like that it hasn't tried to actually attack us yet. And that its only attack seems to be tackle. That too is a bonus. But yeah, double team. It's ridiculous that Ralts gets it this soon. Because it's a really good move. Uh-oh, that could be a problem. Don't want to risk it. Well, what the hell, we'll use another potion. Because odds are, even if we could survive one rock throw, the next one that hits us will be a crit, and we won't. This way we might have a shot. And you're done! That took way too many tries, and that was not the best way to win that fight, but we did. You did lose. Alright, I will take this badge. Which has a space in it now. That's amazing. They're actually learning. Way to go, Pokemon. Now I do a little bit of extra damage because that's how badges work, I guess. Can only be used once. But don't worry, those crappy HMs you never want to use, you can use them as many times as you like. Oh look, it's those Team Magma jerks again. I never thought we would ever see them again. Oh well, let's go home. Of course we gotta go back and help him. Because we're a good Samaritan and stuff. Alright. What? Let's throw Yay up in front. That way she can at least get a little bit more experience. Out of the way, Mr. Goods. Don't worry, I will save your position within a very lucrative company. I'm sure you won't pay us back. A paycheck or two would be nice. Maybe a donation to my Patreon? Just saying. You know, Mr. Davin Goods, if you want to ensure that they get there, you know. Making my day a little bit better wouldn't hurt my feelings any. Alright, Talo. I'm soundproof. Your growls do not scare me. This guy, he's important. We gotta go save Pico now. You know, you could still use it as a hostage. It's pretty useful as a hostage if you actually used it as one, but you don't seem to be doing that, which is peculiar, considering that seems to be the point. Alright, well, we have that dark type. We'll use Strep, because that means that we're going to be leveling everything around the same time. That would be nice. I'm faster than Pucciana. And a crit. I will take clutch crits. It's a hostage situation. You have to take crits as quickly and as often as you possibly can. And we did that today. Good work, Strap. That's a ghost move, I think. Which would have actually been good against Pucciana. If I understand how Dark is with ghosts. It feels like they change it every generation. I will take the goods. Thank you. Yes, she does, Mr. Briny. Hey, we've heard that name before. That's right, we saw his cottage. In fact, spoilers, that's where we need to go next. So I guess we'll go do that thing. But first, more experience for insects. Provided we don't get murdered. Insects tend to squish rather easily, as I'm sure you know. Because they are insects. Alright. Now this guy wants to dig in that tunnel. Which means we can go in here. I don't know if there's anything here of value, but we can go in here. Yeah, unfortunately they would have been disturbing too many Zubats, and we can't have that because we really need to preserve Zubats. I don't know, there's a high encounter rate in there. I'm pretty sure they're still pissed off. I think this guy just likes breaking things with his fists. Some kind of like fighting training for him. I shall use Scratch Attack. Your Leech Life will do very little to me. I mean, if we're really doing that, I could use Leech Life on you and still get more out of it. In fact, let's do that. Just to prove a point. And also a critical hit. I see how it is. You're going to use Leech Life. I'll use Leech Life, but I have more health and damage, so you're going to die a lot faster. Unless you get a crit on me. And you're done. Well done, team. Not a lot of experience, though, but being a rare monster does seem to take a lot more. Here you go, Mr. Devin Goods. Yay for great balls. They're great. And balls. But there are no Abras around to use them on, so they're kind of not as useful as they were in Gen 1. At least, getting them early is kind of useless. I could do that, I guess. But I think I need some kind of awesome sort of reward. You're a president in all caps, therefore he's important. He's also wearing a top hat, so you know he's rich. Mr. Stone. Okay, he's a James Bond villain. I think we can establish that based on that name. But I mean, that's sort of our quest right now, is just doing a bunch of random errands for other people, cause why not? Which is a little bit strange in terms of, you know, world structure. I got the Pokenav. It's the map. Oh, right, we have to actually go through here to see it. Hooray. As opposed to actually just having a map, now you have to go through an extra menu to go through a map. And this is for stats for their contest stuff. We're not going to go into that for a while yet, if at all. And then, of course, there's the Trainer Eyes, which is just a stupid way of saying it lists all the trainers you fought. And that's about all the use that has. Someone here is thinking about trying to bring back dinosaurs because that's crazy. But he wants to start a theme park. And if you find fossils, you can take it to him, and he'll turn it into Pokemon. Not that we've ever had that experience before. I would like cloned, disintegrated monsters now, please, and or thank you. Terrific. Thank you. Now we're done with Rustboro. It's our old pal May. During like one of 3 times we can talk to her. But she doesn't want to fight us because, of course, she's a nice, friendly rival who doesn't fight you half the time, and you never actually get to see her final monsters because she kind of gives up on her dream entirely. Gen 3's rivals were a bit weird. It was the start of your rivals not being colossal jerks, but they were weird in their own rights. Alright, and this is Mr. Briney's house. And I think that's where we're going to leave it tonight, because we're about to go on an even bigger adventure, even though we're trying to avoid all adventure. We might also see some new friends, which I'm excited about, because that means we get to see some monsters I really, really like. But I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, follow the stream to know when we go live, because we're doing this on a weekly basis, provided my equipment holds out. It's been a little bit shaky. As well as nightly streams for Animal Crossing and other things when I get to do it. You might also want to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel to see everything else I do, which is over 1,000 videos just waiting for you. That's how awesome you are. And if you really want to make my day, check out the show's PayPal or Patreon. Support the show any way you can so that I can do what I do to the best of my ability. You know, continuing to do so. Plus, you get yourself on the Discord where we can talk about awesome things like how awesome Ninkata and that bizarre Whismer thing is, and also how great Double Team is this early on, because let's just admit it right now, Ralts may be a pain in the ass to get from the start, but, you know, it's already paid its way pretty handily, and we're still basically just at the start. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace out, Internet.